As I'm sure you're aware, our relationship with China is a bit complicated because we rely on China for low-priced goods, way cheaper than we can manufacture here, and China relies on us buying those goods to keep their economy afloat. But there's a huge problem. We have what's called a trade deficit with China, meaning we buy much more from them than they buy from us. And that imbalance is seen by many as a structural risk to American manufacturing, economic strength, and national security. That's why earlier in the year, Trump enacted global tariffs in an effort to bring manufacturing back to the United States. But in response to this, China retaliated with their own tariffs. We responded by issuing even higher tariffs against China. And before you knew it, we had one of the worst and most severe stock market drops since the Great Depression. Now, thankfully, a temporary agreement was reached, the market soared back to new all-time highs, and many people believed the trade issues were behind us. Until recently. On Thursday, October 9th, China announced that they would be implementing export controls on rare earth minerals, which are commonly used throughout almost everything that we use on a daily basis. And wouldn't you know it, 90% of those rare earth minerals are all processed in China. Now, in terms of why they would suddenly restrict access to these elements, China's ministry says that rare earth-related items have dual-use properties for both civilian and military applications. Implementing export controls on them is an international practice. Although let's be real, this is likely a negotiation tactic after escalating tariff tensions back in April. It's a chess move designed to weaken us, after we tried to weaken them, after they tried to weaken us, after we tried to weaken them. So in response to them weakening us, for weakening them, for weakening us, on Friday, Trump announced an additional 100% tariff along with new export controls on any and all critical software, going into effect November 1st. But it doesn't stop there. Over the weekend, in response to the tariff, China said, "No, wait, this is all just a big misunderstanding." Trump replied with, "China's president just had a bad moment. Everything will be fine." And now the markets are up like this never even happened, even though Trump tweeted 100% tariffs are still the plan for November 1st. That's why at this point it's very clear that all it takes is one tweet to destroy the global economy. And as a result of all the drama, we saw a pretty bad stock market sell-off.